Hello, this is Amanda Ray from theamandaray.com. If you are new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. It is so great to see you. Today, I am going to be doing a pick a card for couples, some advice, maybe some perspective of what the other person is feeling. So if you are new here and you haven't subscribed yet, my channel is a lot of pick a cards and spiritual related videos. So if you're into that, hit the subscribe button, then you won't miss out on future videos that I post. This video is all about love and couples and seeing what is happening in the dynamics there. So we'll see what's up. So before you pick your pile, please pause the video, pause personally, and take some deep breaths. So really connect with your heart and soul, deep, cleansing, grounding breaths. So if you need more time, please pause the video. I will be here waiting for you, the magic of YouTube. So without further ado, this is pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. So again, take your deep breaths and then choose a pile. You may be drawn to one specific pile, you may be drawn to several or all 3. So your guides are going to use this video however it is they need to. So if you feel called to watch more than one pile, by all means, you're not confined to just one. There are no rules in pick a cards. You just do what feels right. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here on pile number 1. So pile 1 here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start flipping the cards and reading as I go. I might pause and read extra before flipping all the rest of the cards. I guess as a note, I don't actually edit my videos, so if there's little bloops, they stay. Magic of life. So the first card, how beautiful is this? Soulmates. So beautiful. Oh, can feel the energy here. There's lots of love, but there's also a lot of like overwhelm happening for you guys right now. And sing. So one of you might be holding back. So from really expressing themselves, like I'm feeling a bit of irritation in my throat chakra. So you might be feeling scared to tell them something. They might be scared to tell you something, not for actual fear, but maybe fear of your reaction. I feel like maybe there's a little bit of hot-headedness happening in this relationship, or someone takes things a little bit too seriously and just flies off the handle about stuff. And it's making the other person feel like they need to try to appease you, or they have to try to, be gentle to not upset you or make you fly off the handle, or vice versa. You might be feeling that way about them. So just taking some deep breaths and really connecting with yourself. And if it's you that's having a hard time speaking up, just know that they aren't doing this out of lack of love. That soulmate cards is coming up, but maybe you need to have a conversation, be like, I feel a little bit apprehensive to share things with you because you've been reacting a lot. What do you need to feel more calm and less flying off the handle? Like, what's changed? What's happening? So have that conversation if it's you that feels repressed. If you're not the one that feels repressed, maybe have a conversation with them. Say, is there anything you want to talk to me about? I understand maybe I've been a little emotionally all over the place, but it's time to just reconnect and provide a safe place for us to be able to communicate. Transformation card and patience. So there might be some big changes in your family dynamic happening. There could be the addition of kids, letting kids grow up and do their own thing more. But I feel like there's goals changing, like you're setting some kind of goals. That patience, there's like a little seed in her hand and it's growing, but there's patience. And then the transformation card. So I don't know what goals you've been working towards, whether you have a business together or you're trying to clean up or renovate a home, or moving homes, or something big transition. But it's taken potentially a few years to really get to this point. And it's been a little challenging for you guys. There's some of you guys might be like a fire sign, like Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo, something like that, because, even here was hot-headed was coming up. So that that impatience to, I want it now, I want to go after it, all the action, like the doing of the things. And things are shifting within this dynamic for your goals in this relationship, but you have to have patience. The seed doesn't just go from being a seed to being a full-blown tree in 2 days. It takes time for that seed to germinate and then to grow up enough to even poke through the ground and, tall enough to start growing before it even grows branches, and so on and so forth. But what happens above the soil, you only see half of the growth and the work that's gone into it. The other half is the root network. Other things have to change behind the scenes to get to that transformation. So whatever goals you are working towards with each other, it's coming. Please be patient with yourself, with each other, with whoever is involved with this in your life. But it is coming. There is that positive movement forward. Solar plexus chakra. I take actions daily that awaken my personal power. So again, this again really reminds me of that Leo energy. So one of you, I swear you are a fire sign, or it's really high up in your chart. So the solar plexus chakra sits literally right over the stomach, and it's responsible for all of our emotions and our sense of self-confidence. And that Leo, that pride, that courage, right? So for this to come up, like don't make yourself feel less than just because these goals are taking longer than you wanted. Say you wanted to reno the kitchen so you could sell your house and then, upgrade. And maybe that whole process, you're like, oh, it could be done like this. And it's like, maybe not. Maybe, we have some small kids, so maybe we have like half an hour a day to work on these renovations versus the 2 hours we thought we would really get in and amongst everything else that's happening in life. You can apply that scenario to any type of details. It doesn't have to just be house renos, right? So being realistic about how much time you do have to set for these goals, rather than being overly optimistic and setting goals or lists or to do things so grand that you accomplish a quarter of it and then you beat yourself up because you didn't do everything when it was unattainable. There was no possible way you could have done all of that in the time frame you were giving yourself. So don't allow that to deter your confidence, okay? Water elemental. I allow my body, mind, and spirit to flow intuitively through the changes of life. So again, another change and transition card. There's a possibility that you guys need to just let some emotions flow. You might be holding back. You might be feeling like there's lots of pressure building, one of you, both of you, and it could be in conjunction with this trying to rush some goals. So take that time and just allow yourself to feel whatever emotions there are, angry, sad, excited, whatever, right? All of it. But if you don't give yourself the space to feel those emotions, you're also like that repressed feeling when you don't signify that it's okay for you to express those things in a relationship. That other person also doesn't feel they have the right to feel those things in that relationship because you aren't, right? So give yourself that chance to allow those emotions to flow. If you need tears, let them out. Nobody's judging you. And if you're really feeling insecure, just, go take some quiet time by yourself to be able to express some of these things. Healthful eating. So, I'll just pull this one too. Vision. So, in this relationship, one of you is like super healthful or mindful about what it is they feed their mind, body, and soul. And the other person's like, yeah, that's amazing, but I'm gonna do this on the side. So say, looks like grapes or plums in this tree. So, hey, we're gonna eat like grapes and plums for a snack. And you're like, yeah, cool, but I'm gonna go eat this chocolate bar where you don't see me or whatever. So if you do have healthful goals together, maybe one of you needs to be more accountable. And it could be as simple as giving yourself grace or giving them grace to be like, well, if I want a chocolate bar, I have the right to have one, but removing that, I must hide it from the other. And it's not like a cheating on you kind of thing, right? It's not like that. It's just this feeling like my choices are not good enough in the grand scheme of things. So they're trying to, that self-confidence, that solar plexus again. So take the time to just, if you're the one that's kind of like sneaking things on the slide that are out of alignment with the goals and visions that you've been holding for yourself and as a couple, maybe just be like, I feel like I don't have permission to do this, and just have a little conversation around that, because I don't think they even realize that you're feeling this way. So just opening that up will just create so much more open communication. I could just feel like the heart opening, like it just feels so much more expansive and open when you're able to open up about these things. Or if they're the one that's like sneaking the little things, maybe just have a conversation about, hey, I want to be able to have treats and incorporate that into our healthful visions, but how am I going to do that? How are we going to do that together? We need to be able to be honest and open, and I can't do that if we don't work together. Right? Just creating that way for them to feel like they can stand up. Your partner might be, or one of you might be very maybe submissive or passive, and the other one might be very fiery and go get it, take life by the horns kind of vibe. So it could be really intimidating to try to meet them at that level, but they may struggle to, come down to your level too. So it's trying to kind of come in the middle for those conversations. The spiral dancer and the desert prince, survival, false promises. So again, I'm really drawn to the line in the desert prince here. There's the pyramid in the background as well, like that Egypt. You guys may need to like fly overseas, or like go on a vacation, or like over the ocean is what I'm hearing specifically, is over the ocean. You might have to go over the ocean. And part of this is like reconnecting with a part of you that is like long forgotten. So I don't know if there's somewhere that you have been together and you're like, I really want to go visit that again, or, oh, excuse me, yawn. It could be just activating a different part of your spirituality, getting you to understand yourself in a deeper way, of somewhere you have envisioned visiting together. Set some goals. The water, it could mean a vacation to somewhere where the water is not frozen. Here where I am, it's frozen right now. So although this reading is timeless. So allowing yourself the chance to plan those things and vision. Like, maybe you haven't told them that you want to do this thing. You want to be able to go on a vacation together. Oh my gosh, I feel like I need to yawn again. Some of y'all need more water in your life. That exhaustion, that feeling tired and overly emotional, it's a word now, I guess, and irritable, can come from dehydration. And you might think you're drinking lots, but like every time you have something to drink that's not like water, so coffee, tea, juice, whatever, that counts as like a negative portion of water for your day. So if you drink a cup of coffee, you got to drink a cup of water just to get back to zero. Because anything that's not water, your body has to filter in some way. Even if there's health benefits to whatever this drink is, you need to be able to add more water into your diet. I just feel like a heaviness kind of coming over me. Yeah, excuse me. but definitely, and some of you might need more rest. If you're like this fiery energy wanting to do all the things, don't sacrifice your sleep every day for 2 years just to try to finish renovating your kitchen. Like maybe just sacrifice 1 hour of your sleep. You have to be able to compromise a little bit as well. Pile one. Become a clearer channel, and this goes with drinking more water, having healthful habits, and working together with that. You'll feel clear, instead of this heaviness that I'm feeling. Be patient. I think those are the only 2 patience cards in the entire decks that I have, all 6 decks. And be patient comes up again. I don't know what goals you're working for towards pile 2, pile 1. Some of you need to watch pile 2 though, pile 1, but you need to allow things to unfold. Your guides are working in the background to create these things and line up things in ways that are greater than you could have imagined, but you have to give them the time. They can't just move mountains in mere seconds, right? Depending on what your goal is. So just have that patience, have that faith. Lack of patience when it comes to setting goals can really be a sign of mistrust. You don't trust it to happen. So the longer it waits, the more agitated you get and feel less patient. So release that trust and just allow yourself to just really open up. Feel that unconditional love, soulmate relationship, feel all of the things, right? I'm really hearing Archangel Raphael stepping forward too, and just really enforcing this healthful eating. Some of you might be having some health challenges. Not that they're anything major, but everything starts small, right? So taking that time, drinking the water, eating the healthful foods, and understanding why you might be craving these things that are not healthful. Where is that coming from? What root cause is causing those urges, and begin to heal those things within you so that you can align with your vision better. Okay? Pile 1, that is what I have in this couples reading for you. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're here for another pile, I'll see you soon. If not, I hope to see you again in another video. I've got playlists with a bunch of different categories so that you can find something that suits you. So I am going to move on to pile number 2 though, after I have a little drink. All right. So pile number 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and flip the cards and start channeling. I might flip them all and then channel. I might channel as I go. See what happens. The Sun. Wow, that's an amazing first card to pull. It's full of such positivity and blessings. The sun is shining on you. The future. There might be some concerns about the future for you, pile 2 here. And I don't know if it's concerns about the relationship itself or just concerns as a couple. Let's see what else we got going on here. Shadow. Okay, I see. And the crown chakra. So the crown chakra is emotionally responsible for giving and receiving divine love and guidance. And the shadow is about that duality, being able to acknowledge our light and our dark, the good and the bad, and really addressing the things that we don't accept about ourselves and try to suppress. Now, whoa, this relationship is a beautiful relationship. There's so many blessings and you both feel blessed, but there's part of you, or them, depending on who this is for in the relationship, that has parts of themselves they don't feel able to express. They feel like they must close down. They feel like they cannot love themselves because of certain aspects of themselves. It could be in relation to their sexuality. It could be their creativity, their dreams, their desires, something. And they're having a hard time seeing where the future will take them. Now, it could be you, it could be the other person. But there's a little bit of tension that has arisen in this relationship. And this can manifest as overreactions. Like, say someone spilled a cup of water and you're like, oh my God, it's everywhere. Instead of just like, oh, here's a towel, and maybe you're just feeling burnt out, frazzled, exhausted, overwhelmed, all of the things. And that cup of water was just that cherry on top that tips you over and you passed your limit. Understandable. Totally get it. However, this seems to have been going on for a while, pal two. Now, if it's you that feels repressed, you're going to have to work on that a little bit, because you got to be able to speak up a little bit here. If it's them, you're going to have to create space for them to feel okay to express themselves, because if they continue to just feel shut down, it's going to be hard to truly feel that open communication that you guys are so used to, right? Celebrate life. I celebrate every day by honoring and respecting all life on Mother Earth. You guys might have pets. Nurturing heart. Mother. I am protective spirit and reach out to all life with love and compassion. So there's a lot of like instincts, like a survival instinct is what I'm kind of getting, survival, that protective, I must protect. So I don't know if you have, excuse me, I don't know if you have pets or if you have kids, kind of interchangeable words in a lot of instances. So, but there is this, I feel, I need to like protect, I need to rise up, I like this just clawing kind of stuff. So I don't know if that's how you're feeling or if that's how they're feeling, or some kind of situation with the claws here. But your guides are trying to give you signs to help you through this, whatever the challenges are, pal two. And they may be sending feathers, number sequences, songs with lyrics that have some kind of meaning to you. They could be sending coins. They could be sending pictures. So many ways they can show up for you. And you've been feeling those messages. But then after that, you're like, oh, I don't really know what it means. So that's a little bit challenging, granted, but write out a little journal entry that says, if I receive white feathers, it means this. If I receive coins, it means this. And make it like a little dictionary for yourself for the signs you are receiving. And once your guide's like, that's how she wants us to communicate, they will just so easily be able to send those messages. And you can change it at any time. You can add, take away, refine. It's not set in stone. It's just clear expectations between you and your guide, something that you can really tangibly communicate through, right? Child. Good chance you guys have kids. 3 cards in a row here. Love. Beautiful card. Again, replicating the sun. In this deck, this would be the closest one to the sun. The Arrow Master. Hitting the mark. Intention. Detachment. The Diamond Dreamer. Material wealth. True prosperity. So again, there's so many blessings in this relationship, and yes, there's the shadow self showing up and these things, but there's so much love and blessings, and this is not news to you. You understand that this has so many blessings in this relationship, and you frequently might even say this, it's so blessed, I just can't believe that we have this relationship. And then part of you is still feeling suppressed, and it could be because of old traumas. it could be you or them, whoever it applies to. And it could just be acknowledging and accepting those parts of yourself rather than feeling like they don't belong. Everyone has good and bad in them, light and dark. It's all about finding the balance and true acceptance of your authentic self, whatever that may bring. Not everybody wants to play card games and not cheat. Like my grandfather, oh my God, he was famous for finding ways to cheat. It was so hard to catch him if you didn't know the game well. So, but that was just part of who he was, and we didn't hold that against him. And he didn't even try to really hide that fact. Like, he tried to hide that he was cheating because he wanted to get away with it, but he didn't hide that fact. That was just who he was, and he accepted himself, and we accepted him for that, right? So finding all those quirks, and instead of berating yourself with criticism, allow yourself to just be who you are. And if you don't want to be that, work on growing yourself and changing that, but find what things can stay and what things want to go. Not everyone's perfect. Not everybody is like, ascending into godlike status. Like, we are human. We are allowed to have flaws. Like, that's just kind of what we signed up for, So part of it could be just a perfectionist tendency as well. Even like this material wealth and true prosperity, there's so much available to you, pal, too. Like, just so much love, so much support, so much all the things, but you feel a little disconnected. You do, like, you set goals and you hit them. So whatever is going on, maybe you just haven't set any new goals. Excuse me. So maybe set some intentions. Whatever goals you have set and have hit, okay, now what? You don't have to stop. The only time you can stop growing and achieving and setting intentions is when this earthly life is over, right? And even then you might come back to try to complete those goals again, So allow yourself to strive. You are good enough. Sorry, there's dogs outside barking. Can't help it. But yes, allow yourself. Let go and enjoy. Let go and enjoy. Admit your vulnerabilities. If that isn't the perfect card to match up with the shadow card. So it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to have flaws and vulnerabilities, and you don't have to be this, I am strong, I am all the things. It doesn't have to be like that, right? You are allowed to just express. You are allowed to feel unsure. You are allowed to not always be right. It's all part of the process, pile two. And just, get in the flow. Like, I just really feel like celebrate the things that are amazing and celebrate the things that aren't amazing, because they still bring blessings. Every major negative thing that's happened in my life has always turned around to be a huge strength in some way, shape, or form, depending on the situation. So allow those negative things to be blessings in your life. What blessings are you carrying around as burdens? Might be a journaling exercise for you, pal two. But that's what I have in these cards for you, pal two. Thank you so much for joining me. It was a pleasure to read for you. Share this video with people that you think might be interested in a couples reading. Or if you're here for another pile, I'll see you again real soon. But for now, I'm going to go on to pile number 3. So I'm just going to kind of start pulling cards, read them, channel a bit, and keep going. Seems to be the general trend this time. The Big Dipper. Fire. So I'm feeling like there's this starting something new, like this fire of creation and this warmth, and like my hands are even like warming up, just like when I do energy healing sessions. You know, like there's this intense fire of creation within this relationship, which is amazing for manifesting, setting goals and all of that stuff. But I feel like maybe it's not harnessed, like it's almost there, but you aren't quite executing, you know, like there's a 9 and a 19 here. So like that almost completed, almost made manifest, almost, but you've been through most of the challenges, but like you're just not quite finishing. The universe, again, the stars, you know, like there's this relationship is hugely spiritual. It's like when you guys came together, or when you do come together, it's just like fire, you know, like fire, literally, like some deep spiritual connection that maybe you would equate to channeling or connecting with angels or some kind of spiritual presence. But it's like this intensity between you, and depending on how long you've been together, it could be like 9 years, 19, 21, who knows, but or something beyond there. But when you do come together, if you've been together a long time, you may not feel that intensity because it is so normal now. So you may need to take just a break to cool down, allow that passion to simmer before coming back and really, really appreciating it for what it's worth. Emotional withdrawal. You know, there's so much that has happened for you guys in this couple. Like I can just feel like oh my God, so much. And you've been through it, but there's still part of you that's like exhausted. You know, you haven't reflected, recuperated, integrated some of that stuff, and it's time to spend some time doing that. You've been through the muck of it, you know, you've been through a lot of it, so now it's time to really decompress, let go of the fears, the resistances of like, oh, what if it happens again? Nah, man, you're good. The wheel of life. I am guided by the cycles of life and live in complete harmony with them. So changes, and even like I still feel like that fire of creation in this card. Things are shifting and moving, and you've moved through some stuff. Like I'm just feeling like heaviness in all of these things. So allowing yourself to come back into balance. Like I really feel like you're feeling overstrung over all the things, and it's time to come back into balance now, because you don't need to do all the things. Your own path. I follow my own unique path with courage and strength. So again, this is, you know, you guys were walking down one path and things were crazy. There was chaos. There was just things crumbling is what I feel. And then things have shifted. You've moved through that. And now you're like, oh, but it could crumble again. And it's like, no, we're going to walk a new path now. We're not revisiting that stuff. We have healed. We have dealt with the things. We are much wiser because of that. And we are stronger because of that. And you're ready to just go after it after a rest, right? It's so important to rest your body, spend time together, have fun. One or both of you might be quite serious, you know, so taking the time to just unwind a little bit. Steady progress. You guys are moving forward, like those blessings, like the flowers are coming out of, I don't know, her robe. So it's like those things are there and they're just starting to show up, you know? So don't get into that fear of, oh, it might leave. Oh, you just enjoy, accept, like, open the heart space. You know, you might need some stones. So like pink and green stones, whatever you have, will be helpful here. Pray. And again, that's emotional withdrawal has that pray card. So however you like to pray or meditate, spend time doing that. And if you're like, no, I don't do that, maybe you need need to reconsider that stance, because getting in touch with the universe, that spirit outside of you, that spiritual presence is so important, especially when you want to show up in a relationship as your highest and best self. You know, I'm assuming you want to be your highest and best self, I suppose. Most people do want to strive to be better, or the best they can be. Not the best, but the best they can be to their capacity. And that's a beautiful thing. Spend time praying, and not just praying for things you want, feel lack. Pray giving thanks and gratitude for the things you do have. I am so thankful I have this partner to spend my life with. I'm so thankful I have these children in my life. I'm so thankful that we have this house. I'm so thankful we have these experiences. Thank you, just thank you, thank you, thank you. Instead of, oh man, I really need that job promotion. I need money so bad, like help me out. Ooh, help me, I need money. Or whatever. It's not always about asking, although you do have to ask, you also have to express gratitude. Like if you have kids and they're always coming back, I want this, I want this, I want this, it gets old. It's like, no, you're going to work for it, man. So, your guides can have a similar energy to it as a parent, so just think about how you're approaching that relationship even, and with this couple relationship, and see, is it even give and take? Lady of Lightning, surprises, sometimes shock, total paradigm shift. That really resembles like a tower moment to me, and like that shift and that change, that chaos that has happened. So I feel like this has already happened. I don't feel like this is something new happening. I just feel like you need to heal from that and allow that energy to flow through you and out. Things had to crumble so you could rebuild on solid foundation. You've grown too much to support what was built, emotionally. However that's showing up for you. I feel like that's metaphorical. Excuse me. Keeper of the scales, fairness, balance. So again, making sure that give and take relationship is balanced. If you're always giving or you're always taking, you don't feel good. If you're always the one anticipating others' needs and like, oh, I do this, and no one's ever even asking you to take responsibility for this, it's like, oh yeah, thanks. And you're like, that was a lot of effort. It just can't feel balanced, right? And you need to bring more of that balance back into your life and your relationship, so you just feel balanced. Correct your mistakes and look forward. So again, moving forward, that forward momentum. But like, as you're reflecting on all the things and you're like, wow, I was kind of a shitty person over there, but I didn't have the perspective to see it until now. Oh man, like I could have done better here. I just didn't realize what the results of my actions were going to be. So maybe you need to make it right. Maybe you need to apologize. Maybe, just if you're still harping about something and you're like, oh, I don't know. Maybe there's something that needs to be healed, corrected, addressed. Maybe you lived with someone for a short time and you just like, I'm leaving, and you didn't give them much notice. And, in hindsight, you're like, oh, well, it was probably pretty shitty for them, whether they were anticipating like the contribution you made there or whatever. It's like, oh, okay then. So, don't be so full of pride that you can't go back and figure this stuff out and make amends and feel lighter and clearer. Because I just feel like you just gotta sit back and just spend that time reflecting. But until you reflect, you won't have that perspective, and it's totally okay. But it's gonna be okay, pal. You got this. I know you do. So thank you so much for joining me. That is what I have for you today. If you're interested in booking a private reading, there's links down below of how you can connect with me. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again soon. Bye.